Hey everybody, welcome to another Gospel Unplugged. It's Pastor Lose, and today I'm joined by
Pastor Freeman.
And we are in the month of August, and our theme this summer has been 3 big words that we hear, but going a little deeper. So we've talked about grace, we've talked about hope, and in August we're talking about forgiveness. And I feel like that's one of the really, all 3 words are important. I feel like that's one that just looms large in the culture. It's a part of everyday lives, and I don't know if we always understand it well, or I think it's one that when we don't understand it, maybe it has more consequences. If we feel like we have to forgive but we can't, then we wonder if we're bad people, or all of that stuff rolled into one. And the theme this week is that sometimes forgiveness can be hard to accept. And the story we've chosen is the second half of what we often call the prodigal son, or sometimes it's called the waiting father, or sometimes it's called 2 sons. And that might work best today because we're reading about the second, the elder son. So this continues in chapter 15 of Luke's Gospel, verse 25. Now his elder son was in the field, and as he came and approached the house, he heard music and dancing. He called one of the slaves and asked what was going on. He replied, "Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fatted calf because he has got him back safe and sound." Then he became angry and refused to go in. His father came out and began to plead with him. But he answered his father, "Listen, for all these years I've been working like a slave for you, and I have never disobeyed your command. Yet you have never given me even a young goat so that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours comes back, who has devoured your assets with prostitutes, you killed the fatted calf for him." Then the father said to him, "Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice, because this brother of yours was dead and has come to life. He was lost and has been found." Whoa, big story. And I'm glad we're focusing on just the elder son, because I think when we read the whole parable, we almost always focus on the prodigal, the younger one. And I think the older one gets short shrift.
Yeah.
And I think he would agree. One of the things I love about this parable is I can, sometimes when people write in the Bible, so-and-so said, it doesn't sound like anything I would say or you would say. And I read this and I'm like, no, he got that one pretty well. I can hear
Totally.
the older brother. I can hear myself. I can hear people I know saying this, like, look, what are you talking about? I've been working all this time and you gave me nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it just sounds very real to me.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally real.
So,
yeah.
What did you hear? What have you been thinking
Well,
about?
Similar to what you said about how this could be titled, I lived at L'Arche, and Henry Nouwen has that book about the return of the prodigal son based on Rembrandt's painting. And he says that maybe a better title would be the parable of the lost sons, that they're both lost in some way. And so we could focus on what it means for this second son to return home as well. And I've not always thought about that as much, except for being at L'Arche, when so much is focused on home. So anyway, we talked last week, I'm sure if that's when you did the younger son, you talked about his lostness, but the older son is lost and far from home, and it's harder to identify. I remember Dr. Ragnus at seminary saying, the 7 deadly sins. Is it Dante that did the 7 deadly sins? Whatever, the Catholic thing. He would say, that's all in literature and stuff, but there are 4 of the 7 deadly sins that culture kind of approves of, and there are 3 that are kind of looked down upon. And I feel like it is kind of interesting. Like, I think the 4 that are kind of looked as good ones are kind of what the older son represents, and the 3 that the younger son represents are kind of the ones that are looked down upon. So we saw that the younger son involves himself in dissolute living. It's pretty obvious. We outwardly might judge him, and he inwardly, I think, has some shame about that. But the older son looks so good on the outside, and his reasons for looking good are justified too. But inside, he's boiling with anger. And so there's not really any congruency in him where there is with the younger son, I think. It's just interesting. The two are matching with the younger and not so much in the older.
Yeah, and I think I think a lot of us, if push comes to shove, or when I've taught this in different groups, how many of you identify with the younger son? Well, most of us haven't run off and wasted a lot of money. We've made mistakes, but haven't completely, gone off the rails. How many of you identify with the older son? All the hands, so many hands go in the air, because most of us try to do a good job, and most of us try to work reasonably hard, and most of us try to be pretty responsible. And so when you have put a lot of effort into living the life that you think you're supposed to live, and someone else just is a total reckless jerk and they get the party, like, it's aggravating. Like, it's so very, very understandable. Yeah. Yeah.
It feels unfair.
That's why I think it's one of the earliest emotions that we feel as children. Like, one of the earliest things a child will say when sensing something out of kilter, that's not fair. That sense of justice is really ingrained in us. But I think part of the parable is sometimes that sense of justice can remove you from empathizing with someone else, or being able to put yourself in their place. And so one of the constants is, just like the father runs to greet the prodigal, the father leaves the party he's hosting to approach the older son and pleads with him, which fathers don't always plead. Sometimes they just say, get your inside. But he doesn't. He goes out and pleads with him. So,
and he says, what I have is already
all
yours. It's always been and it always will be. And I think that really struck me this time, like the beauty of that line. Like, you just read it. He said to his son, you are always with me and all that is mine is yours. And it's like the son feels like he needs to work and earn and get his father's approval, even if it's subconscious. He feels that way. And the father just wants him to live life fully. And he doesn't really realize what a great gift that is, or that accepting it would bring such true life.
Yeah. The sentence or so that the father says, I think, is just packed with like implication. That is one of it. All that I have is yours. But we had to celebrate. Like, there's not even a choice or possibility. It's not like we're doing something special. Don't you understand? He was dead. And he came back. How can you not celebrate? And then I think I'm always struck by the reversal of the son in his anger says, this son of yours. And when the father's talking about it, he reverses it, this brother of yours. Like, there's what he most wants is the sense of a restored relationship. He wants them both to be home. And I think that captures in a lot of ways the heart of God. But sometimes it's hard. Like, it's hard. Like, these are all good words. But at this particular moment, it's hard for the son to even imagine hearing that. And I think that's relatable too. There are times where forgiveness, it sounds like it's all good news, but I don't think this elder son feels like he needs forgiveness for anything. And so anyway, we could keep talking and talking and talking, but we also offer our folks some questions. I know you've thought of a couple. So what have you been thinking about?
First of all, to your point about righteousness and resentment, I think when have I, or when have you, anybody who's listening, had to make the choice between being right and being in relationship? I think that's a good one. Thanks to Pastor Lose. I read that in one of his commentaries a few years ago. It's so good.
It was ages ago, and I was just sharing something we would say to our firstborn when he was a middle schooler many times, and he was so always sure he was right. I have no idea where he got that from. And I feel like, dude, you can choose. You can be right or you can be relationship.
Such a good question.
Because if you're just going to ignore everyone else because you're right, you're going to be right and lonely.
Oh, that's such a clear distinction. It's true. Such a good one. Okay. Secondly, I was thinking, when is forgiveness hard to accept for myself? And when is forgiveness hard to accept for someone else? Like watching God forgive someone else. Like, when is that hard for me? So lots to chew on in this passage. It's like the heart of the gospel. Yeah,
and a lot going on. And we'll look forward to thinking about it more, pondering it more, and preaching on it. So thanks, everyone, for spending some time with us, and we'll see you at church.